Hey guys, Rob here with McDojoLife. In today's McDojo Breakdown, we're going to talk about a martial arts video that went viral after a coach slapped the living doo-doo out of his student at a taekwondo tournament. But there's more to the story than meets the eye. So let's check out the video and let's break it down. The man you just got done watching in that video slapping his student like Rick James slapping Charlie Murphy at a bar goes by the name of Coach Orhan, and I'm going to butcher his last name here, Taekwon, I think. Not trying to mess up his name on purpose, I just have no clue how to pronounce it. And the student who got slapped, like on that episode of South Park, oh my god, she goes by the name of Iram Pala. Now, on the surface, when you look at this video, it seems like a very clear-cut case of abuse. Martial arts instructor seems to be upset that the student lost, and then decides to haul off and slap her into the nether realms. But there's actually more to this story than just that. Now, because this video went viral, obviously this became a big deal in the taekwondo and martial arts communities, and you may or may not have already seen this one already. But they actually did just recently release a statement, the coach and the student did. So I'm going to read you a little bit about what the story says that they say happened. Iram Pala, who was slapped by Coach Orhan during a Turkey youth taekwondo event, has made a statement. Claiming that the incident was caused by a great misunderstanding, Iram said, "I was under the effect of shock. I abandoned the match. This is a big plot anyway. They missed the last 10 to 15 seconds of the match. I don't accept that my coach showed violence to me in any way. It was a slap I requested. I wanted it on my own," she said. "My family is not complaining about this situation either. I am not complaining. I am behind my coach," she continued. "He will be innocent anyway. I didn't want my coach to be prosecuted in any way. It's a misunderstanding. You didn't watch my whole match, just 15 seconds of it. You watched for a second and it was a video that was cut while you were behind. Please don't say anything until you watch the whole thing." Now, Coach Orhan also released a statement in saying the athlete was in shock and asked him to slap her. "At the end of the match, I congratulated the opponent, then my athlete came to me. I put my hand on the back of her neck and said, 'Girl, do you have anything?'" And I'm guessing by that statement he meant anything to say, but that's what he quotes. "No," she said. "Slap, for God's sake." The coach said, "I slapped her too. I don't know if she was slow or not. I was stressed and I laughed. We have entered into this policy of slander," he said. "I have trained hundreds of athletes so far. We haven't let the team championship go to anyone for 3 to 4 years. We always won 7 to 8 medals in the junior and star categories," he said. "Over 3 medals were guaranteed yesterday. We were playing the final. I don't beat any of my athletes, nor do I hurt them. My family was always there for me, and I am a victim of defamation." The Turkish Taekwondo Federation released a statement saying that Coach Orhan had been carefully referred to the federation's disciplinary committee. In addition to that, an official letter was sent to the Youth and Sports Preventional Criminal Directorate Board for necessary action to be taken. The board stated that the coach will not be able to participate in Taekwondo-related duties until the investigation is concluded. In addition, Coach Orhan was fired by the Preventional Directorate of National Education. Let's unpack that. It seems like this clear-cut case of abuse isn't as clear-cut as it seemed on the surface. The athlete not only was okay with it, the athlete actually requested for the coach to slap the doo-doo out of her like Morgan Freeman on that movie Street Smart. Not only that, but the athlete's family was also okay with this. But because of the coach's actions, the coach was still suspended from doing any Taekwondo-related activities due to the board banning him for temporary while they're looking into it, but also he was fired from an educational position. But as Dr. Phil would always say, there's 2 sides to every pancake. You can't just go around slapping 17-year-old students because they asked you to. You're the adult, they're the child, and they can't give you any kind of magic ability to break the law just simply because they asked you to break the law. Like, how would that work with absolutely anything else? It would sound ridiculous if you replaced the slap with anything else that's illegal. Hey coach, can you like give me some crack? Of course, little Susie. You asked me to. It has to be okay. Here's some crack. Thanks, coach. Coach, could you also give me like a handgun? I just kind of want it. There's a kid at school messing with me and I definitely intend on taking the gun to school to intimidate and or shoot that kid. Is that okay? Absolutely, little Susie. Make sure you get him in the sights. Thanks, coach. You're the best. And hey, coach, could you like teach me how to make like crystal meth? I'd really appreciate it if you just showed me in detail how to make crystal meth so that way I could distribute it onto the streets. Anything for you, little Susie. I gotta tell you, we're really bonding now that we're doing all this illegal activity together. And then, like out of nowhere, the police show up. Sir, it states here that you not only sold this child, the 17-year-old kid, crack, you also gave her a firearm and taught her how to make and distribute crystal meth? Is that about right? Yeah, but I mean, it can't be illegal because she asked me to, right? That's not how that works at all. You're definitely going to jail. Do you see how ridiculous that would be with breaking any other law? Your kid can't just say, oh, it's okay that you slapped the dog piss out of me. I don't mind at all. It's not legal, genius. You can't just smack somebody because they asked you to. Doesn't really work that way, especially with a minor. Now, when it comes down to it, we've seen other athletes and other activities do something very similar. We've seen that one time where that judo competitor got slapped up by her coach. Another time we've seen Chris Cyborg getting slapped by her coach before she got ready for a fight. And here's a couple more examples of martial artists getting slapped before fights.
Eddie slapped you before you walked out to fight. What's the story behind that?
I asked him to.
Yeah.
I asked him. Well, I warned him. Prior to fight day. I said I might ask you to slap me.
But with all that said, all of those people were adults. They were adults requesting that the instructor do this, and the instructor obliged because they understand their student. But this is a minor. It's different. You can't just go breaking the law just because the minor wants you to break the law. So coaches out there, hopefully you understand that what this guy did was wrong. This is why he's in trouble now. So hopefully this shows you that you can't just go breaking the law just because a kid asks you to. Hopefully this is a lesson learned for a lot of people out there. Hopefully if you're a coach and your underage child student asks you to smack him upside the head, you probably shouldn't do that. Clearly, this guy is having to pay the consequences for it. He was fired from an educational position. Also, he's being held up against a review board who's looking into his behavior, whether or not he'll be able to continue to even coach Taekwondo anymore. So I'm going to give this instructor a low on the Dillman scale. I'm giving him 2 out of 5 Dillmans here. I know usually around here we do the Dillman scale. Most of the time we're peaking towards the end. This guy made a mistake. He had an error in judgment. A student asked him to do something, he followed through with doing it, and he didn't think about the repercussions of what that could lead to, and now he's in a whole bunch of trouble. But, as always, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about that in the comment section. But that brings us to the point in the video where I find out if you watched the entire video or not. So, the question for the day, whenever you leave your comment in the comment section below, be sure to answer this question. Where do you draw the line between hard training and abuse? With that said, if you're a member, I want to know what your Dillmans will be. Make sure that if you're a member of the page that you're actually dropping your own Dillmans down there and give us your thoughts on this as well. If you're not a member, just let us know your thoughts anyway, because it's always appreciated whenever you guys interact or share this kind of stuff. I appreciate it. As always, thank you all for the likes, shares, comments, subscriptions, and all that other crap people online tell you to do. Keep the martial arts legit.
Things just haven't been the same, living strange since my baby joined that dojo, joined a McDojo. Now she tries to spar on